It's Clive! Everyone loves Clive. But even more than that, they love Karting Korner, Episode 5, News and Reviews for LittleBigPlanet Karting. So we're back after the Christmas break. Now in the news this week I'd like to draw your attention to something that not many people seem to know. Now in the team pick levels you'll see quite a few of the levels have been made by the LBPK community, which is a brilliant selection of levels that have either been made in the by beta testers or people involved with the game, I'm not so sure. But what most people don't seem to have noticed is that nearly all of these levels are copyable to your own moon. So I've spoken to a lot of people on forums that have been saying, you know, how do I do this, how do I do that, how do I replicate this, and that I think the best way to learn things is by seeing how someone else has done it. And this island, this world I should say here, this planet is the best resource I think there is for seeing how these levels have been professionally made. So I've done the decent thing and I have taken the lot and copied it to my moon, and I highly recommend you do the same, because if you go into these levels, professionally made levels, you can really see what is needed to do the same with your own levels. And if I go into this GP level here, you can see just how many decorations and how much work has really gone into making these levels look great, which I think is quite inspirational for us trying to make levels of our own and learn from the best. And I mean, I really wish actually that all of the original levels were copyable. You know, the story levels as well. It'd be great to see how some of those were made. Maybe it could even be like the final unlock for getting the gold star and everything, or something like that. But it's such a shame to have all these great creating tools, but only actually have a fraction of them kind of shown in the tutorial videos. And being able to look around these levels, I have found absolutely invaluable. So you can hopefully over the next coming videos, we will all benefit from having a good hunt around these levels, because I'll be learning from their logic, which as you can see is ridiculously complicated, and hopefully trying to translate it a little bit for you guys, for those of you that would like me to. Now of course I know what you're thinking. Some of you will be thinking, well, and the problem with making all of these levels copyable is that some people will simply just copy these levels to their moon, go straight to the publish button and send them straight back out. So if I search for the biggest, most popular level, Das Boot, and scroll down, you can see that there are indeed loads and loads of people that have just done exactly that. I don't know why they think that it's impressive, but they do. But they haven't got many plays each. Very few of them have got hearts. It's very silly, really. I don't know why they do it, and I think the fact that one of these people is called WillyBoy420, quite frankly, says it all about why people would choose to do that. But I don't think that should be something that necessarily stops people from doing it. I mean, I found with my my tutorial levels, which I've been putting up to accompany my video series, that people have, not many, but people have just grabbed them and re-uploaded them. And this particular person here has actually re-uploaded my level with "This track is part of the Adiposes video tutorials," still intact as part of the level. I don't know why people do it, but I do not think that it should stop us actually uploading copyable levels so good players can learn from. Now with that in mind, hopefully you have seen this week's latest tutorial, which is all based around cutscenes. It's in two parts because I had a lot to talk about this particular week, and it'll teach you how to do the cutscene in front of you, as well as working with cameras and transmitters and sequencers, and lots of different things like that. And so, some people have fed back that it is the most useful tutorial yet, so if you're looking to improve your cutscenes, do go and check them out. And I would love to see your cutscenes, so if you watch the tutorial and make something you think is a little bit special, please let me know and I'll check it out for maybe the future Karting Korner. But speaking of cutscenes, this cutscene from the level Tron Kartolution by Verbal83 is absolutely incredible, as I'm sure you'll agree. He has got this wonderful scene, which is obviously inspired by the movie Tron, whereby this little character here enters the Tron world, and everything goes futuristic and outlined just like they are in the movies, which I think is brilliant. And it's a great track as well, and if you haven't checked it out over the last couple of weeks, I really recommend that you do. It's got custom vehicles, it's got a brilliant art style, as you can see just from the preview here, even down to the fact that when the race starts, the carts on the right are blue and the carts on the left are yellow, giving a lovely visual look to it. There's some really cleverly done shortcuts in the level, and long shortcuts as well, so you can actually take different routes on each circuit around the track and come across almost a completely different track, which is great. So this is definitely an inspiration in terms of graphical style, because sometimes it isn't always about having great visuals, it's about having stylish visuals. And note that I'm not saying these visuals are bad, I'm not. I think these visuals are actually really, really good and really complex, but it is often about the style that can make your level really kind of stand out, rather than being a master of various objects or artwork and things like that. And another little gold star to this level is actually used some of the boosters which I included in my tutorial series from a few weeks ago, and I do think that using boosters that lay on the floor looks so much better than the jetpacks that you find in the default set. So well done to Verbal for including that. Now, another thing you might like to be aware of in terms of LittleBigPlanet Karting is that, of course, there was a LittleBigPlanet Karting beta. I wasn't part of it, but many people were, and there are loads of videos on YouTube that came out during the beta, and this one is by a guy called Shadow River UB, and he's got two playlists that I recommend you check out if you're interested in getting good. He's got some videos here talking about the create mode. They're quite long, and they're a little bit dry as well. You know, he goes through things quite slowly, explaining them in quite a lot of detail, but I've learned a lot from watching his videos. So if you've been waiting for my video tutorials and want to kind of get ahead, I do recommend you look at his. And he's also made a huge resource of playthrough levels from the beta. So if you're looking for inspiration or to see again what is possible in the beta, impossible in LittleBigPlanet Karting, then absolutely go and check out these videos, and you will be really amazed by what some of the guys managed to put together during the LittleBigPlanet Karting beta. It's just such a shame that so many players seem to have been active in the beta and aren't active now when the game has been released. And I do hope that they have all opened their Christmas presents and got a copy of LittleBigPlanet Karting, because there are really some very talented guys who haven't made it onto this game yet, and I hope that they do. So this was Shadow River's channel, Shadow River UB's channel on YouTube. Very good, among others. So do just type in LittleBigPlanet Karting beta into YouTube and see what you can find if you are looking for inspiration or alternative guides to LittleBigPlanet Karting. Now, something a little bit different now in the news. I've always wondered a little bit about what should happen to levels in LittleBigPlanet that are perhaps a little bit dodgy. I remember when I was on the Spotlight crew on LittleBigPlanet Central, that there were a few levels that I wasn't entirely sure should have been put onto a kid's game. But others say, no, whatever you want to make, you go for it. So I don't know about this one. I'm not going to explain to you what this particular level is about. It's called It's a Wonderful World, and you can probably work out for yourself what this level is all about, and if you aren't sure what this level is all about, then I'm not going to explain it for you. But I wonder what you think. Should things like this be allowed in LittleBigPlanet, or should things like this be discouraged in LittleBigPlanet? And I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments section below. Either way, this is actually a really fun track, so if you want to have a bit of a laugh and a giggle and a good race at the same time, then check out the links below the video in the description, where I'll be putting links to all of the levels that have been featured in this week's Karting Corner. Now on to the level reviews. And first up this week in our 3 reviews is a level called To Clive with Love, which is by Remy, who goes under the name Bones Oliver on PSN, and as always you can check out the links to the levels in the description below. And this level is a direct homage to Clive from LittleBigPlanet 2, and I'm sure you can just see instantly by the visuals that this is brilliantly done and really could be lifted directly out of LittleBigPlanet 2. It has that style perfectly. It has all those wonderful tubes from those levels, as well as the characterization as well. But don't let the visuals fool you, because this is actually a very clever track as well, with some interesting ways of travelling around the track, such as these tubes here, and and ways of kind of flinging you about. I do find these tubes rather hard to navigate. You'll see from the video I actually managed to get myself stuck here twice. I realise that I am rather inept when it comes to driving, but I got stuck most times on the way around. This is a lovely section of track though. You get boosted through, but of course if you choose your options carefully, the player can actually still move left and right while boosting, and he's carefully put some of the prize bubbles in a harder to get to place, but still very possible. And it is of course great to see fantastic creators like Remy sharing what they have built with other creators by including them in prize bubbles. If you haven't checked out that To Collide with Love yet, then you must. Now this is Airship Fortress by Puppet Hand 666. It's a remake of what I believe is a Nintendo DS level, Mario Kart, and it is stunning. Possibly, and I know I've said this probably every Karting Corner so far, possibly the best looking level on LittleBigPlanet Karting yet. It's certainly one of the levels with the most amount of character in it, and you must add this to your queue if you haven't played it already, because it really is that good. It's fun to play. The characters in it, such as, I don't know, it's something Monty Mouse I believe it is, and of course the good old Mario Bullet Bill are really good. And the other nice thing about this course is it's actually quite a short lap, which sounds like a bizarre thing to compliment it for, but I have found with some tracks I actually just get a little bit bored when you have to do them 3 laps and they're quite long. This is short, it's to the point, and it's the kind of track that as soon as it finishes you want to go straight back in and play it again. My only slight criticism of this is, to be honest, if Puppet Hand is that good, why has he remade a level that already exists? If he's that talented, why not go and make something brand new and show us what you can do? Another thing I love about this level, though, is the custom HUD. If you haven't noticed it, do rewind the level and have a look, because he's got popping up at the top of the screen before every corner a direction, left, right, split in the road, all that kind of stuff, which I think is a brilliant idea, and I will be trying to include on a future tutorial how to do that, because that actually saves you having to put loads of arrows around the edge of the road by putting that up as well. And lastly, up this week we have Sunset Islands by Ivo, well, I'm not going to try and pronounce the last name, who I'm reliably informed is quite a big name in the Mod Nations races scene, so it's great to see even more of those creators making the leap over to LittleBigPlanet Karting. And this is, as you can tell, a hovercraft level set amongst the beach islands. It looks great, it plays great, and having that kind of variation from all the karting by scooting around on the river is really welcome indeed. The level has some really nice touches, such as a cave, a broken down sea vessel, lots of islands that you can kind of half skim over, which is great for kind of making your own shortcuts, loads of alternative routes going left around an island, right around an island, loads of prize bubbles for you to add things to your collection and see how they were made, and it's just really great fun. If I have to criticise it, the AI seems to struggle a little bit. I haven't been racing especially well, but I'm miles ahead of the computer, and there are occasions where if you skid over islands in the wrong way it actually thinks you're kind of out of bounds when you're not, but these are minor concerns from what is actually a really good track. So well done to all 3 of the creators that I've featured this week, because they have got some really fun tracks. The other thing that I like about what Ivo has done here is, as I've suggested in previous videos, he's actually made 2 versions of this track, one which is the straight race and one which is a time trial, which is good for just having a blast round. I think he's actually got a slightly modified hovercraft in there as well, which is fantastic. And look out for a future tutorial where I'll go into more detail about how to make a time trial and how to kind of add interesting things to it by using logic. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Karting Corner. Please like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thank you to all of the creators that I have included this week. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.